Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and today's reading is for a viewer question, and there's a long question, wonderful comment, so I'm just going to read it to you and then get to the actual question. So this person states, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you're male or female or however you identify, but I love the question here. It is, when we take a look at the world around us and notice people are revolting against tyrannical governments, their greed and human rights abuses, en masse worldwide, the scourge of Trumpism and the dirty GOP appears to have triggered outrage worldwide, as do these evil forces. Like one is China and the pandemic. 2, authoritarianism, land and sea grabs, abuse and control of the people. 3, natural and man-made earth-damaging disasters. 4, earth damage for greed, evidenced during pandemic lockdown, when wildlife returned to the cities, yes, and air pollution dissipated, yes. Number 5, enslaved people. For example, concentration camps in North Korea, and all people gated in any place that is, forbidden to leave, and so-called re-education camps in China. Plus, Trump ordered migrant abuse of children and adults at the border. Yes, I hear you. I deeply hear you. So the question is, did God send the pandemic? So I'm going to use the Light Seer's Tarot here by Chris Anne, and possibly even this Earth Magic Oracle that I have, and see what the cards can teach us. Okay, so this is much bigger than a yes or no question, which is why I'm using the tarot. Otherwise, I would go with usually the Lenormand. So the cards I pulled are the 8 of Wands, the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords. Actually, maybe I'll move them up so then that way we have room for the other deck. Okay. Queen of Swords, here we have the Empress, Mother Earth. And then we also have the 9 of Swords. Okay, so the message I'm getting here is that when we dive into the universe that's within us, we realize that there's not an outside force that is doing anything to us. But to see clearly, with the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, she has worked through, any emotional material, and she can, in the highest sense, she can see clearly. And she can see clearly how Mother Nature, how Gaia is trying to rebalance herself. Because, the earth will take care of itself always. And if we can't get on board with that, we will regret our actions. We will have, nightmare experiences that we need to live through until we get on board. So I know enough about spiritual law to say that we are, each one of us, creators within. We are made of the same essence as whatever you want to call the forces of love, God, Source, the universal divine cosmic intelligence that has created the earth that we live on, and that we're in a beautiful, galaxy, and we're spinning through time and space really quickly, but we don't fall off the earth. I mean, if you can't trust that there's some greater wisdom holding this all together, then, I invite you to go just look at science. And this doesn't have anything to do with any religion. This is looking at, the laws of physics. So we can trust that there is a greater, or I believe, this is my belief, is that we can trust that there's a greater consciousness that has the divine intelligence that has created this world that we're living on. And we have that same consciousness within us. We just have to nurture it every day. And so to see clearly that we can create a whole new reality, but we have to come into our emotional intelligence in order to do that. That's what the King of Cups is all about. And the forces are coming at us quickly. Mother Nature, she wants to balance quickly because we're at a breaking point. We've been at a breaking point. And all you have to do is look at science. And yes, of course, it happened 1,000 years ago and 1,000 years before that. There's all kinds of science you can look at. But without trying to make it right or wrong whether climate change is real, let's just let go of that and look at what is it that's coming at us that we need to deal with. And obviously the oceans are warmer, and we need to do something. So what can we do to get out of this nightmare experience that has been created? Now, when it comes to I'm not seeing any of the cards here to answer the question about the tyranny. So I'll just have to answer that, saying that we have to remember first that we're here together during this time where we're able to connect with everybody all over the earth, and far, there's as long as you've got an internet connection or there's some communication, we're all together and we know what's going on, far ends of the earth. So when it comes to looking at whether or not things are getting worse, I don't believe that they are. I believe that we're in a purging and a pushing up into your awareness of the distortion of love that was always bubbling down underneath. Like, that's the tyranny, that's the corruption. I believe that it was always there. So now that it's up, and I say this, partly from being an astrologer, where I know that Pluto's in Capricorn, Saturn's in Capricorn, and Jupiter's in Capricorn. And we haven't had this lineup since, what was it, 1200 and something? I forget, 1285. I don't know. There's all kinds of things you can research online to get to that. But anyway, what I believe is that we're moving into an area of life, into an area of our, life's evolution, where it's going inside to our inner law and not relying on man-made law. It's inner law that's aligned with the earth and the universe, because we're all one. The universe is inside of every cell in our body. In the nucleus of every cell of our body is, the universe. So it's as within and so without. Now, I don't believe that God and the universe is doing anything against us, or even for us, other than helping us to find our false beliefs and whatever keeps us in separation. And so the false beliefs will hold a pattern in place that needs to come up and heal. And the pattern in place is always some form of, I'm not good enough. So that's why we have these greedy people that feel like there's never enough. Now, it's an opportunity for us to come into our power and fight against this. But then again, if we're in a warring type of an attitude, we're going to get that same thing back. But fighting and standing up for yourself is completely different than wanting to, kill the bad guy, right? I mean, the bad guy needs to be in jail and go inside and find out, what they've done wrong. They need to sit there and think about it, right? And we need to stand up and not let them abuse us anymore, because if we allow the abuser to abuse us, we are also abusing their soul, and then we're in that vicious circle. So let me use these earth cards and see. It's the Earth Magic Oracle by, oops, I've got a glare there, sorry, Stephen Farmer. Okay, let's see what these cards can teach us. So again, just remembering that Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn conjunction is that it has everything, like bubbling up. And it was always there, but we couldn't see it. It's like the outer planets when astronomers, discovered planets. Well, the planets and asteroids were always there, but we couldn't see them. That doesn't mean that it wasn't there before. So what can these cards teach us, and how can they answer the question? These cards are sticky. That's the problem with the highly laminated ones, and I hope we don't end up with a glare as well. Oh, this is interesting. Oh yeah, okay. So this might even be showing us how we can help the earth heal. Yeah, so notice we have Gaia, which is just the same as Gaia here, right? But we have focus, synergy, invocation, passion, and nurturing. Beautiful. So this tells me that the answer is that we have that creative focus within us. We just have to go there. And within that, we can renew. This also brings in the law of mutuality to me. This is a bit like the Temperance card in the tarot, where you bring in some of this wisdom and you bring in some of that wisdom. And when those two forces come together, it creates a third entity, which is really, really, big, and that's how things are actually created. That we can't create anything without like two yeses coming together. And that's how the universe is created. That's how we were created. That's, it's procreative urge and affection, right? That it's procreative urge and affection right here. That's how we create what we want. So if enough of us join together and we get on board to do what we can to focus on healing the earth, and we have to keep doing it. We have to keep, working on it at night. We can work on it in our own prayers, with our own intention. We can sit in meditation and feel our love for the earth and for each other, and we can put that out into the world. But then we also have to show up and do the work in other ways, be as responsible as we can with our carbon footprint, because there's a lot that we can do. There is a lot that even just one person can do, and if we're all doing it, like if we're all deciding not to drive unless we need to, if we're not, using going on planes and using jet fuel unless we absolutely have to. There are many, many ways that we can respect the creations of Earth that were already there. Like, imagine how many years it takes to create crystals. And of course, all those years that it took to create, the oil that we take out of the earth. But we don't even need to do that. We can use other forms of energy. We have renewables. It might even be, it's possible, I don't know because I'm not a scientist, but it's possible that there might be some kind of nuclear energy that might be safe. I don't know. I say that with residence, but I'm not sure. But there's got to be other forms of of energy that is created, just like the earth is always creating, recreating herself, just like Gaia is already doing her thing. And just like there is that deep emotional intelligence that can help, and the reasoning, the high reasoning, this is a card of science as well. So all the sciences, the ecological sciences, can come in and help create a whole new future. Once these greedy tyrants get clear that that's not what we want, we don't want to support them anymore. And it's been the money, money, money that has held all that in place. So when enough of us rise up and we won't do it, that means like the next car we buy is some form of a renewable type of a car, or we don't even buy a car if we live in a city, and we use other forms of transportation if we can. We do everything that we can, and don't put it off to everyone else. If we can take self-responsibility here. Yeah, so that's all I'm seeing for today. I welcome your questions and comments and your wisdom in this, if I've missed anything with these cards. And let me bring them back quickly just so you can see them again. Especially if you want to take a screenshot or something. And give your advice, your wisdom, anything that I may have missed. Because, Tarot and Oracle cards, all the cards, cartomancy is a beautiful form of having more eyes on it and getting more wisdom, because you'll see things that I missed. That's for sure. Okay, thanks you guys. Take good care. Bye.